Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 1085 of the Juicebox Podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is my 8th installment of my Wegovy diary. As you may know, each Wegovy diary is a few minutes of recording around my injections that are once weekly. I go over my weight, what I've experienced that week, so on and so forth. A lot of people have been enjoying it, so we're keeping going. I cry at one point in this one, so I apologize. Anyway, nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. If you're looking for community around anything really, type 1 diabetes, type 2, if you're using Wegovy or Ozempic, check out my private Facebook group, Juicebox Podcast, type 1 diabetes. 43,000 members. What a great collection of people. I think you'll love it. If you're looking to save 40% off of your entire purchase at CozyEarth.com, just use my offer code JUICEBOX at checkout. That's for clothing, sheets, towels, everything they have, 40% off. Use the offer code JUICEBOX at checkout. I have recently had to buy myself some new clothing because my size went down, and I got some at Cozy Earth. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Touched by Type 1, touchedbytype1.org. You want to see a great organization doing wonderful things for people with type 1 diabetes? Follow Touched by Type 1 on Instagram, Facebook, and check out their website, touchedbytype1.org. The podcast is also sponsored today by US Med. US Med is where we get our diabetes supplies from, and you can too. usmed.com/juicebox or call 888-721-1514. Get your free benefits check and get started with US Med. Hey everyone, it's November 7th, Election Day, and it's time for me to shoot my Wegovy 2.4 milligrams. It's going to be a pretty short episode, but I don't know. I'm already confused. Hold on. Somebody pointed out to me I drink water when I'm making the Wegovy diary, but you never hear me do it on the podcast. It's interesting. Listen, I want to talk a little bit about like long-term view this morning. My weight is exactly the same as it was last week on this day. 196.6, I think was the number. And I'm completely fine with that. My wife's been sick. There's been a lot of comfort food around the house, and I think I maybe have learned that I don't have to be constantly losing weight to be doing the right thing. So I don't know how helpful that is if you're in a different part of this journey, but at the moment, I've been at this since March, and I ate pizza this week, ice cream at some point, if I'm not mistaken. I had a chicken sandwich the other night that I don't think was good for me, and I didn't gain any weight. So Wegovy is magical, and that now gives me an opportunity to reset myself or think differently or whatever, step back maybe and see this as a much longer process. You know, in the past, if I was like trying to lose weight, I would have thought like, well, you know, in a month, I've got to lose this much. And, you know, if I make a mistake or I slip up, I'll go backwards and then I got to get right back to it. I don't have any of those thoughts anymore. Just, I lived like a fairly normal human being this week. I didn't overeat or undereat. I had a couple of things that I don't think calorically were valuable for me. And I did not gain weight. I didn't bloat. I don't look different. My clothes still fit. And that's because of this Wegovy right here. That's what this pen is, why that happened this week. So my opportunity here is to just sort of, you know, you guys listen to the last diary. A lot of traveling, some expected, some unexpected over the last couple of weeks. I'm off my game. I'm not getting up in the morning and eating the right things. I've skipped some of my supplements here and there last couple of weeks. It's just been bad. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been optimal for my success. But now I'm back and I'm settled and I got through this week and my wife's feeling better and I feel like today's a new day. But I don't feel like I wasted time. I don't feel let down. I didn't go backwards. And I think looking back on, again, other attempts to lose weight, the going backwards just takes you just lose your momentum. You lose your hope and you think, it's never going to work. But instead with Wegovy, I got to have an off couple of weeks and I'm still in it. Like, I'm not just in it, I'm doing great. So let's inject it again and get moving. And here's to having a long-term outlook on things, and not quite so just short-term. And like, what do I have right now? Like, that kind of, I don't know, way we live now where everything's expected right away. Like now I find myself in a thought process where if this whole thing takes 2 years, I don't think I could possibly care less, because I've got some success to build off of, and it takes more time. It makes more time. Anyway, this might be off-putting because it's like getting cold here now. So I'm not in as much like stretchy material. Like I usually like make the podcast in like sweatpants or shorts, but now I'm wearing pants and I have a belt on because I lost all my butt and everything. So I need a belt. So you're going to hear me undo my belt to do the Wegovy shot. And I apologize for that in advance because it seems like it's weird. But anyway, I was toying with the idea of not shooting it in my stomach this time. I was thinking about doing it in my butt or just changing locations once just to see if that, like, there are people online who swear that does something. That doesn't seem scientific to me, but I thought maybe I'll just try it one time. So bear with me while I take off my pants and try to decide where else I can do this. Sorry. So I think I could probably do my thigh, no problem. But like, is it going to be like with insulin where you shoot it in your thigh and then the big muscle kind of, my butt is, I could do my butt. What a funny sentence. All right, hold on a second. All right, this is for you guys, because I would have, if this wasn't being recorded, I would have just chickened out and put it in my stomach already. But I can, all right, I've never done this before. Isn't that interesting? I can reach it and I can pinch it. Yeah, I can. All right. I'm going to stick this Wegovy in my ass. And don't, you know what I mean? Don't be like that. I'm nervous. Isn't that weird? Why am I nervous? All right, let me get my ass near the microphone. This is a first too. All right, here I go. Oh my God, why am I so nervous? Isn't this where everybody puts their shots? All right, it's in. I put the Wegovy in my butt. It didn't hurt. You're all like, yeah, no kidding. All right, I'm done. I'm like, I usually hold it in for a minute to make sure it's all done. So it's done. Put that right in my ass like it was nothing. Took it like a champ, baby. Anyway, have a long-term view. I think that's really important. That's one thing I've taken away from these months so far. Really step back, look at things macro. Don't be in such a hurry, but don't ignore the fact that if you have a setback with weight loss, that setback can snowball on you. And I think the Wegovy has helped me to keep that from being a snowball when stuff like this happens. Anyway, I'll see you next week. What's up, kids? It is November 14th. It has been 7 days since I last spoke with you in my life. Gonna be a short one today. Doing a live event tonight and recording an episode and working, so need to get moving here. But if today's vignette had a name, I think it would be Pissed and Pleased. And I'll tell you why. Let me pull up the app here. I lost weight, but I lost more weight in the first 4 days and then gained some of it back in the last couple. My wife and I have been going to lunch on Saturdays now that our kids aren't home. We've been like having like a standing lunch date. I wanted chicken wings, and I picked this place that I guess it was just like, again, like over salted or something. I'm now noticing this as a behavioral issue. But 196.6, that's what I weighed on the 7th of November. 196.6. The next day, on the 8th, I was 195.8. The next day, on the 9th, 194.8. And I thought to myself, this injecting the Wegovy in my butt, is this having an impact? Who knows? Like, nah. But then the next day, November 10, 194.2. That was I was like, that's my lowest weight ever. That's the lowest weight I've hit since I've been doing this. One more day goes by, 193.8. I was like, this is it. I'm going to be 150 pounds before like 6 more weeks. Yeah, then we went for the wings. And I woke up the next day, 195.6. That was, let's call that upsetting. And today, I'm 196 even. So I guess I lost 0.6 pounds this week, which is terrific. But I was 193.8 at some point. That's like literally 3 pounds less than I am today. And I honestly think it was that one food choice. Shrimp and chicken from a bar that just probably had it in oversalted food and stuff. I didn't eat any carbs when I was there, I don't think. I may have had, like, honestly, 4 French fries and a little piece of bread. But that was it. It was just all that sodium and it just, oof. Anyway, sorry if it's loud. My neighbor's a lovely person, but he picks up his leaves every 3 days in the fall. It's not something I completely understand. Anyway, pissed and pleased. I'm pleased I lost weight. I'm pissed that apparently I lost 3.6 pounds and put 3 back on. But I'm just going to go forward this week with the idea that isn't going to happen and just do it again and see what happens, right? So I got my Wegovy here, 2.5 milligrams. And I'm just going to say it. Let's put it in my ass again, right? Because that seemed like it might have worked. Can you hear that? Unbelievable. I got to record in like 10 minutes. Did you just hear it shut off? It's like a fucking jet engine. It's crazy. Sucks those leaves up like that. Damn. When he's done, it looks like, I hope he doesn't listen to this. Yo, man, if you're listening to this, what's up? I love you. I'm just talking about the thing. It's a podcast. I got to talk about stuff. When he's done, his grass looks green, like he painted it green. There's not a stitch of dirt or leaf or stick on it. The thing, it works amazing. It's just really loud. Anyway, Wegovy, 2.4. By the way, for those of you not listening, the Mangiano people, is that Lily? I don't know. They put their drug in for weight loss, and it got it through the FDA. I don't know what they're calling it, but Mangiano is going to be available under a different name for weight loss, like Wegovy is available for weight loss, but really is just Ozempic at different doses. All right, let me expose my buttocks. Found it. It's right where I left it. I can't reach it. Is it going away? What the hell? I gotta do that. How do you people do this with insulin? All right, I got a pinch. I got a pinch. Here it goes. So hold on, I'll be back in a second. Pulling up my pants. Sorry. Something I bet you thought you'd never hear on a podcast. After the 3 pounds in the middle of the week, my wife's like, what'd you do differently? I said, I put the Wegovy in my ass. So the other day, we put it in my wife's ass. Everybody who has diabetes supplies, but not everybody gets them from US Med, the way we do. usmed.com/juicebox or call 888-721-1514. US Med is the #1 distributor for Freestyle Libre systems nationwide. They are the #1 specialty distributor for Omnipod DASH, the #1 fastest growing tandem distributor nationwide, and they always provide 90 days worth of supplies and fast and free shipping. That's right, US Med carries everything From insulin pumps to diabetes testing supplies, right up to your latest CGMs like the Freestyle Libre 2 and 3 and the Dexcom G6 and 7. They even have Omnipod DASH and Omnipod 5. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and you can reach them at 888-721-1514 or by going to my link, usmed.com/juicebox. When you contact them, you get your free benefits check, and then if they take your insurance, you're off and going. And US Med takes over 800 private insurers and Medicare nationwide. Better service and better care is what US Med wants to provide for you. usmed.com/juicebox. Get your diabetes supplies the same way Arden does from US Med. Links in the show notes. Links at juiceboxpodcast.com to US Med and all of the sponsors. When you use my links, you're supporting the show. Hey everybody, it's November 21st, and pretty much the way it's been going is the way it's going. I am pulling up my weight here, but basically I'm losing a little more weight in the first few days of the week and then putting it back towards the end and then ending about a half a pound lighter. So seems kind of par for the course at this point. As you know, I was 196 on the 14th. On the 16th, I was 195. On the 18th, I was 194.8. But by the time I got to the 21st, 195.6, which is cool. It's still, let's see, 0.4, about a half a pound loss. I'll take that. And overall, 37.8 pounds. Pretty great. I've been to 40 one time, but like I said, I think I was dehydrated for that. So no big deal. Thanksgiving is in a couple of days, so pretty wicked. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to be impactful on my weight one way or the other. Honestly, I'm not going to eat a ton of food, so I don't see that as being an issue. What else did I want to tell you about? Oh, my wife talked about this thing she's online. She's online. That's not English. She's in a group online where people are using Wegovy. And this person described that they had been on Wegovy for a couple of years, I guess. They lost all the weight they meant to lose. Doing great. Maintaining well. Everything's going fine. And then one day, like zip, their insurance just doesn't cover it anymore. But the person said, it doesn't matter. I'm down to my weight. Like, right, I look terrific. I feel terrific. I'm just going to keep doing the things I'm doing. I'm going to eat the same way. I'm going to exercise the same way. I'm going to do all the same things. And the person said that they did that. They didn't change anything about their intake or their activity or anything else about their life. They just stopped taking the Wegovy because their insurance took it away. And they gained their weight back. Just gradually started to come back and then whoop, right back to where it was. So, if there's not such a thing as a GLP deficiency, I don't know. I don't know what is. Anyway, there's been a couple of announcements of other companies bringing stuff to markets this week. I'm excited about that. There's part of me that thinks that this 2.4 of Wegovy, maybe it's not quite enough for me because, the first 4 days of the week I'm losing weight and then it kind of dies off. So something's not working exactly right. I'm going to talk to my doctor about it and see if we can't figure it out. Anyway, short one today. I got to go buy a turkey. Actually, I bought the turkey. I just got to go pick it up. Should I stick this in my butt again or in my belly? Or actually, I don't want to pull my pants off, so I'm going to do my belly this time. If I don't lose a half a pound next week, I'm going to be like, hey, what the hell? I still have some belly here. Ready? Okay. A lot of great feedback about the Wegovy stuff recently online. I appreciate that very much. And hold on. Toss that right in the trash can. That was 2.4, as I've been taking for quite some time now. And I have some things I want to talk about, bigger ideas about weight loss, but I'm going to hold them until after the holiday. So, for you, it'll be just a second from now. But for me, it'll be a week. All right, guys, I'll get my headphones on here. What's up, everybody? November 28th. Scotty's learned a lot. I'm going to share it with you. It's my Wegovy pen. I get my app out. So it was Thanksgiving last week, and I decided to do a little experiment. Here's how it went. On Thanksgiving Day, was it Thanksgiving Day? On the 21st, I was with you last. That was Tuesday. Today's the 28th. Yes. Thanksgiving was the 23rd. So last time I was with you on Tuesday, I weighed 195.6. On Thanksgiving morning, I was 195.4. Now, I purposefully did not weigh myself again until yesterday. I just was like, I'm just going to do Thanksgiving and I'm going to see what happens. Well, let me tell you what happened. I'm going to try to paint a quick picture about food for you. I do all the cooking here. I made handmade stuffing the day or so before Thanksgiving. I made 4 pies, pumpkin and apple. I made chocolate chip cookies. That's what I pre-cooked. On the day, I put a turkey in the oven and I put a turkey on the smoker. We had people over. I made like 2 different kinds of turkey because, I was just showing off. But I actually just wanted to try smoking a turkey. Both worked out really well. They were terrific. Mashed potatoes, the stuffing that I already talked about that I made myself. I saw applesauce, some green beans. There were sweet potatoes, some vegetables, maybe carrots, if I'm remembering correctly. But when I sat down, I just took turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, a tiny bit of gravy. I don't think I had anything else. I ate the food. It was not a lot. In comparison to what I would have eaten the Thanksgiving before, it was less. I had a slice of pie later in the night. I do think I had a cookie. The next day we got up. We actually went to lunch. We went to a diner where I had for some reason I can't explain, more turkey, a slice of bread, a handful of French fries. We stopped at a bakery because we were having people over. My wife grabbed a small pound cake, and some cookies. At some point over the weekend, I had a slice of that pound cake, 2 of those sugar cookies. And over the weekend, somebody brought pizza. I had 2 slices of pizza. This is a lot of eating, especially for having been on Wegovy for a while. But in my mind, like in the memory of the person I used to be, I didn't think I was eating like insanely. I was eating more than I would normally. Sunday, I had leftover turkey, Thanksgiving stuff, like turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and a slice of pie. And I had some ice cream. I've just told you, there was candy in a candy dish too. So assume at some point there was a handful of gummy bears spread out over a weekend. So that's what I've eaten from Thanksgiving morning until Sunday. I woke up on Monday and weighed myself. Not today, yesterday. I woke up yesterday. I was 4.2 pounds heavier than I was on Thanksgiving morning. That food I just described to you, not only it was food that I don't normally eat anymore, but it slowed down my digestion, my elimination almost completely shut off. I wasn't using the bathroom correctly over the weekend. I wasn't even expelling water waste correctly. Like the way I wasn't even peeing the way I usually do. Just eating that food over 4 days threw my body into turmoil and added 4.2 or 4.4 pounds to me. That's insane. But then I weighed myself yesterday, got up, had my coconut milk yogurt, had 2 eggs. I had some chicken for dinner. I actually still think I had a scoop of leftover ice cream last night. I did. But I woke up today 197.4. I lost 2 pounds in 24 hours by not eating the things that I made for Thanksgiving. That's all I did. I just went back to how I'd been eating in the past. I dropped 2 of those pounds in 24 hours. So this morning I'm 197.4, which is literally 2 pounds heavier than I was the last time I talked to you. Not quite 2 pounds. A little less than 2 pounds than I was last week. 195.6 last week, 197.4 now. Next week, I'll be eating normally again. I don't know where I'll be. But the takeaway from this week is It's Thanksgiving. Everybody eats stuffing, blah, blah, blah. What if I wasn't on Wegovy? What if I would have eaten more? Would I have been 6 pounds heavier in 4 days? Would I have not weighed myself yesterday and continued eating the stuffing and the leftovers for a few more days? Would I have put 10 pounds on in a week from Thanksgiving? I'm going, maybe. That's what I'm saying to myself. Maybe I would have. Instead, because I'm weighing myself, tracking my weight, taking care of these things, I'm right back to it. The weight's going to come off. I might end up losing weight by next week. Losing weight from 2 weeks ago by next week. I have no idea. But all I can tell you is I looked down and my stomach was starting to stick out again. Like I was bloated. I was like, what in the hell is happening? And that saying came to me that I've heard people say so many times. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. That's what I learned this week at Thanksgiving. I don't care. I almost cursed. Next year on Thanksgiving, I'm having a goddamn yogurt and a egg, and that's that. Let's shoot this Wegovy. 2.4 milligrams. Seriously, I felt bad about myself yesterday. I got on that scale and I was like, what did I do to myself? Like before I shoot the Wegovy, what did I have lost? What, first of all, let's try to use English while I'm talking. What had I lost in total? So I was like down like 38, 39 pounds. I put almost 5 pounds back on. That's rough math. 13% of the weight I lost, I gained over 4 days because of Thanksgiving. And I think probably a little bit being on the tail end of my Wegovy injection, but that's neither here nor there. All that hard work, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And in 4 days, I put 13% of my weight back on. If I stay on this path for another week, do I put 25% of my weight back on in 2 weeks? We're not going to find out, first of all, but I was blown away by that. The food has more impact on you than you think. That's all I'm going to say. And you make whatever decision you want, but things that you write off in your head is, oh, it's a holiday or it's Thanksgiving. It's my brother's birthday. How am I going to skip it? It's Thanksgiving. I can't, blah, blah, blah. You know how you can? 13%. That's how. Wegovy's going in. I'm going downstairs and having a freaking egg. Scott getting thin. I ain't doing this anymore. Where am I going to put this Govy today? I got more belly to put it in, I can tell you that much. It was fun when I shot it in my butt earlier, but I'm not going to do that. I think I only like saying it. I just thought you guys would think it was funny. I don't know that I care about where it's at. All right, I'm going right here. Part of me thinks I need a little more, like I need a bigger dose, but I'm capped out at the top of what Wegovy offers. So for now, I guess this is the game. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. I hope you had a Thanksgiving that was happy. We did. Had family around. It was wonderful. Both my kids were here. I can't say enough good things about what happened, other than the part where I gained almost 5 pounds. But I do appreciate the lesson that came with it. I'll see you guys next week. Well, the Thanksgiving massacre is over. I have defeated it. I am back. Let me tell you where to. Right where I started, but that's okay. So today is December 5th, and I weigh 195.8 pounds this morning. Going back to, let's see. Today's December 5th. What does that make it? The 28th was the last time. Right. So the 28th, I was, you heard the last recording a second ago, 197.4. Today, 195.8. Back on the 21st, I was on 195.6. So I'm back in the game. I gained 5 pounds and lost it in the last, 14 days. Cool. More importantly, and this is what this little bit's going to be about, I went clothes shopping. Clothes shopping? Clothes shopping. Why did I say clothes shopping? Would I buy one thing? I went sock shopping. I got one. I'm going back next week to get the other one. I went clothes shopping this weekend. Not a big purchase, just a few items. And my wife and my daughter went with me. And I'm just going to share something here with you. I was a fat kid. I don't think I haven't been fat since I was 4. Yeah, 4 years old. That's the last time my body didn't look like it was carrying weight that it shouldn't be. I have memories of some of my school photos, like burned into my head. My head was so big and round at times. And even though growing up, I felt like people really liked my personality, I never felt like they were completely comfortable with me. And I have no idea if that was real or if that was how I felt, or if that's how I felt about myself and I was projecting it on those other people, etc., so on and so forth. I put a lot of effort, a ton of effort into exercise in my very late teens and early 20s. And I got down to, I don't remember the number, honestly. But I remember looking good in a suit when I was like 22. But I don't know what that meant. I've always had a belly and never been particularly like toned, but I was toned at that point. I was going to the gym constantly and doing cardio and lifting weights, and is the best I've ever looked. But looking back, I still had a belly. And I don't know if I've ever said this on here, but you know what I don't want to curse because I don't send this one to the editor and I don't want to have to go through it, but what the hell, I'll just tell you, I don't have a classic belly like you think of a man's gut, like a beer belly that sort of goes like a turtle shell. Does that make sense to you? I mean, it does. I have a belly that hangs at the edge, like I just gave birth 3 weeks ago. That's what my stomach looks like. And I hate going clothes shopping. My whole life. I fucking hate it. Used to pick fights with my mom when she tried to buy me clothes because I didn't want to put them on. I didn't want to look at myself and be disappointed. I didn't want to feel fat. I fucking hated going clothes shopping. But this weekend, my daughter wanted to go out and look for clothes for herself. And instead we looked for me. And it was hard at the beginning because all of those feelings from my whole life came to me. And, but I knew I lost weight, and I have looked in the mirror a number of times and thought that I looked good. So I was excited to get more clothing, and, this thing you do when you're heavy, like you buy clothes that are bigger to hide yourself. Because for me, like you don't want to feel the clothing grab you because I don't know how to explain it, but it reminds you of where you're, puffier than you want to be. And, but I don't feel like that anymore. Like now I'm okay that my shirt fits me, even though I'm not I'm not perfect, but I don't have that horrible feeling. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I apologize. I don't mind that my shirt fits tighter now. And honestly, I look better, even though I'm not perfect. I look better in fitting clothing than I realize I look in hanging clothing or stuff that bunches or kind of curtains or something. So I wanted to go get a few new shirts. My daughter's, in her second year of, fashion school, and she wants to make clothing for people. And she started handing me things. Like I was like, I never would wear this. As a matter of fact, like I don't like to get away from dark colors because they kind of cover, visual contours and stuff like that. And I may have had this idea in my head that I don't look good in light colors, bright colors. I'm not okay in, like that kind of stuff. But anyway, she handed me this shirt, and I was like, "Oh, Arden, I'm not going to look good in that." And she's like, "No, try it on. I think you will." So I put it on, and I just decided to trust her. And I was like, "Okay, I'll buy this one." And I have to be honest with you, I don't know how I look in it. But then we kept going, and then I said to her, I want to do a little more layering. I want to put some things over things, which is not something I would have done in the past. And she's like, "Okay, we can get you like this and a jacket." And like, she's like, "You could put this over that." And anyway, by the time it was over, I didn't hate being there. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed it. I had a great time. And, I wasn't angry while I was there or sad. And I was really grateful. I've thanked my wife and my daughter a bunch of times for coming with me. I wouldn't have known how to pick out some of the clothes she picked out. I never would have picked some of it up off the rack, and it ends up looking amazing, That's her skill, but I would have never been able to do that on my own. Anyway, I'm very regretful that I didn't have this experience. I'm regretful that I didn't have this experience while my mom was alive, so she could have experienced that, me, and not the one who was yelling at her for no reason. Anyway, I would not have been able to do this without GLP medication. And if anyone out there doesn't like it, or you think I'm cheating, you can go fuck yourself. I'm going to put this one out now. Next one will come in a few weeks. A huge thanks to US Med for sponsoring this episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Please go to usmed.com/juicebox or call 888-721-1514. I'd also like to thank Touched by Type 1 and remind you to go to touchedbytype1.org to see them doing amazing things for people with type 1 diabetes, and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Sorry I cried in this one, but it's been tough and easy and fun, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, actually. So this has been quite a year. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast.